The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Hub Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices, and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Hub Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Hub, craft your own footprints.
The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Mwasuze mutya nno abatwekuumiddeko enkya y'olunaku olwaleero amanyanza Edgar Matthew Karuhanga okubanga nkuweereza lunaku lwa Monday ennaku z'omwezi 29 tumaliriza omwezi ogwokutaano omuganda gwayita muzigo omwaka tuli mu 2023 mbaniriza nnyo mwenna abatwekuumiddeko enkya y'olunaku olwaleero kibeera kya ssanyu nnyo okubeera nammwe buli lunaku okuva ku lunaku olwa Monday paka ku lunaku olwokutaano tubeera wano nga tunyumamu emboozi nammwe nga twogera ku nsonga eziba ziruma bannayuganda n'ensonga eziba zigenda maaso mu nsi yonna. Eno nno ye Digitalk TV program bagiyita The Mighty Drive Show ebeerayo buli lunaku olwa Monday paka ku lunaku olwokutaano okuva ku ssaawa 2 paka ku ssaawa 4 ez'okumakya. Si ya show yokka gye tulina wano, tulina shows ez'enjawulo era tubaweereza mu mirundi egy'enjawulo ng'olunaku olwaleero akawungezi tulina show ebeera mu lulimi Lungereza bagiyita The Hotline Show temugisubwa etandika ku ssaawa zibeera ssaawa 1 ez'akawungezi paka ssaawa 3 tuba twogera ku nsonga za byabufuzi na biki ebiba bigenda maaso mu ggwanga naye tuba tuzitanya mu lulimi lubeera Lungereza, so naye mugituning oba musobola okuba nga mujettanira enkya y'olunaku olwaleero oba akawungeezi k'olunaku olwaleero. Si eshoka olunaku olw'enkya tubeerayo n'etteeka ki programu eba eyogera ku mateeka na ngeri ki gy'osobola okuba ng'ogayiga ggwe nno ali eyo nga tomanyi mateeka ki gye gagamba, osobola okuba nga wettanira tteeka ki. Ebeerayo ku lunaku lubeera Lwakutaano era ebeerayo ku lunaku Lwakubiri ku ssaawa zibeera 5 ez'okumakya, so naye mutweyungeko temugisubwa. Tubeerawo wano tulina the voltage show ebeerayo lunaku lubeera Lwakutaano kawungeezi ebeera mu lulimi Luganda etandika ku ssaawa mpaka ssaawa 3 ez'akawungeezi. Ku Lwomukaaga tulina the interface tubeera n'omukulu Dr. Kiza Besigye wano buli lunaku lubeera Lwamukaaga kuva ku ssaawa 4 paka ku ssaawa 6 ez'omutuntu. Tubeera wano ku Lwomukaaga n'ennaku endala osobola okuba ng'otuninga mpola mpola ng'olaba engeri gye tukuweerezaamu. Ffe twasalawo okuba nga tubaweereza ku mukutu omutimbagano gino emikutu gimukwanira wala mikutu gi Facebook, Twitter, Instagram gyonna tubeerawo mpola mpola nga tubaweereza. Nga bwe mbagambye amannya nze Edgar Matthew Karuhangi. Olunaku olwaleero tulina ensonga nyingi ezigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga ne wabweru w'eggwanga. Wetwogereranga okutta obukwasibwa bw'abakazi mu ggwanga erya Mozambique weeyongedde. Ngenda kuba njogerako ku biki ebigenda mu maaso eyo. Nigeria nayo ng'eyita mu mugagga asinga ku lukalu lwa Africa, omwami Aliko Dangote balina ekyuma ekiprocessinga oba ekitereeza amafuta nakyo bamaze dda okuba nga bakilonkinga. Nja kuba nkunyumiza biki ebifa eyo ne mu mawanga ag'enjawulo gonna tugenda kuba nga tutambula mpola mpola nga tunyumyamu naawe emboozi paka ku ssaawa 4. So ky'osobola okuba ng'okola tambuza vidiyo eno etuuke ku muntu yenna. Teeka mu groups ez'enjawulo, teeka ku WhatsApp status yo, teeka mu status yo oba story yo ku Facebook. Wonna wonna leka abantu bamanye nti nno ffe twagguse dda ne program The Mighty Drive. Nga sinaba kubanga ntandika amawulire g'olunaku olwaleero, munzikirize njagalize omukyala abatuuka Halima Amina amazaalibwa amalungi. Omukyala abatuuka Halima Amina yoyo no gwe mulaba olunaku lwaleero mazaalibwa ge, era njagala okuba nga mwagaliza amazaalibwa amalungi ayongere okuba nga ayoga mpola mpola. Omukyala abatuuka Halima Amina leero it is her birthday, era okuva mu Digitalk TV twagala okuba nga tukwagaliza a very 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 happy birthday to you abatuuka Halima Amina yoyo olunaku olwaleero ajaguza emyaka gyesitajja kwogera naye nga ya leero mazaalibwa ge. So alinayo akalabo ng'omanyi abatuuka Halima Amina osobola okuba ng'okamutuusaako asobola okuba nga naye ayoga mpola mpola. Tuyingireko ndowooza kati mu mawulire agasinza okuba nga gatambula mu ggwanga ne wabweru w'eggwanga. Ngenda tambukirako wabweru w'eggwanga. Omwami Aliko Dangote ono nno ye musajja asinga ssente ku lukalu lwa Africa. Baasembayo okuba nga bamurankinga. Omwami ono yali azitowa obuwumbi 16 obwa dola oba mu lulimi Olungereza kye bayita $16 billion. Omwami oyo Aliko Dangote. Wiki ewedde omwami oyo yalonkinze kye yayise oil refinery, the first oil refinery on the continent of Africa, oba era ye first oil refinery ezze wano mu continent ya Africa. Eri wali best mu ggwanga gy'ava eggwanga erya Nigeria. Mu abatamanyi oil refinery nno eneebeeranga factory mwe basobola okuba ng'osengejjera oba ng'olongoosa amafuta okusobola okuba ng'oggyamu kiki oyagala. So wiiki ewedde omwami Aliko Dangote yavuddeyoko n'asobola okuba nga alonkinga eno nno the first oil refinery in Africa. Egenda kuba nga eyamba okuboostinga ebintu bingi. Ekisooka abantu b'e Nigeria bafunye dda emirimu mpola mpola bagenda okuba nga bakola mu oil refinery zino. Ate kati bwetwogera Nigeria ebadde spendinga oba ebadde yonoona millions ezisoba mu 8 eza dola buli lunaku ng'egezaako okuba nga refininga amafuta gaayo mu kampuni z'ebweru. Kati kino nno kasita bamaze dda okuba nga balonkinga oil refinery mu Nigeria eya omwami Aliko Dangote. Nigeria egenda kuba tekyetaaga kuba nga spendinga ssente bwe zityo mu mawanga amalala mu mbeera bwetyo. So wetwogerera ng'omwami Aliko Dangote omugagga asingira ddala continent ya Africa yamaze dda okubanga alaunchinga essengejjero ly'amafuta eriri wali mu ggwanga erya Nigeria. Nga bwe mbagambye essengejjero lino ligenda kubanga liyamba okusooka okubanga erirongoosa amafuta ga Nigeria. Jjukira Nigeria ge gamu ku mawanga ku lukalu lwa Africa agasinga okubanga ga exporting amafuta. Jjukira balina kye bayita crude oil oba balina amafuta mu ttaka lyabwe era bagezaako okubanga bakolamu ensimbi mpola mpola. So refinery y'amafuta gano egenda kuba yanguyiziddwa oluvannyuma lwa Aliko Dangote okugulawo factory oba company egenda okubanga evunaanyizibwa okubanga essengejja amafuta mu ggwanga eryo erya Nigeria. Mu balala era ogenda labanga n'amawanga ageetoolodde eggwanga erya Nigeria gagenda kubanga gafunamu nga gasobola okubanga gafiltering amafuta gaago nga gayita mu ssengejjero eryo erya Aliko Dangote lyamaze dda okubanga alaunchinga. Lino nga bwe mbagambye essengejjero erisookedde ddala okubanga liteekebwawo mu ggwanga eryo erya Nigeria ne ku continent ya Africa. Jjukira abasinga amafuta gaffe tutera kubanga tugasooka ga exportinga kyomba mulaba nga Uganda twakola crude oil pipeline n'atambuza amafuta okuva wano ehoima paka eri Tanzania gye tusobola okubanga tugayiyiza mpola mpola. So Aliko Dangote ye mu ndowooza ye yalabye nga kino ekyokutandikawo essengejjero lino kijja kuyamba nnyo eggwanga erya Nigeria. Essengejjero lino oba oil refinery eno gye batandiseewo mu ggwanga erya Nigeria egenda kubanga eyamba in fact kansooke njogere ku nsimbi ze yawemmense yamazeewo obuwumbi 19 obwa dola era that is 19 billion. In fact ozibalamuzi basinga n'obugagga obw'omwami ono Aliko Dangote ye gwe babalira ku buwumbi 16. So kiki mbagamba bwe bamaze okubanga bamaliriza essengejjero eryo wetwogerera nga amawanga ag'enjawulo gonna gagenda kubanga gettanira eggwanga eryo erya Nigeria. Ezimu ku kampani ezataddemu ensimbi mu ssengejjero lino mwe muli gye bayita African Development Bank. Eyo nno ye banki eyamba okukulaakulanya abantu ku Africa n'ebitongole ebirala ebyagezezaako okubanga biwa Aliko Dangote kye bayita green light oba support okubanga asobola okutandika okukozesa lino essengejjero oba kubanga essengejjero weeriri mu ggwanga eryo erya Nigeria. Nga tuvuddeko kaawo ndowooza katukomewoko wano ku muliraano e Kenya. Wiiki ewedde era awo mu Kenya twalabanga waliwo bayita ba hackers. Bano ba hackers be bantu ababbira ku mutimbagano oba bagezaako okubanga bakola kye bayita fraudulent activities ku mutimbagano okwo nga bayita ku internet. Bano nno atuula gy'atudde n'asobola okubanga ayingira mu system yo n'asobola okubanga yeekola ekigenyi. Bahackers be twasembayo owulira waliwo omuvubuka eyahakinga mu system ya Kenya neyeefuula nti nno member of parliament n'afuna n'omusaala gw'omwezi ogwo gwali ndowooza mwezi gwa 4 ye yasobola okubanga afuna omusaala ogwo. Naye kati according to information gye tulina wabaddewo bahackers abagezezaako okubanga bayingira obanga batunuulira system y'eggwanga lino erya Kenya okubanga baevaluatinga oba Kenya n'asobola okusasula amabanja gaayo geyina naddala gejje wali mu ggwanga erya China. So according to reports zetulinako essaawa zino abahackers babadde bava mu ggwanga eryo erya China era bagezezaako okubanga bayingira mu system ya Kenya okulaba oba Kenya inaasobola okusasula ebbanja lyebanjibwa. Ebbanja no China lyegibanja liri ku buwumbi 9 obwa dola, $9 billion. So aba hackers okuva mu ggwanga erya China eyo badde bagezaako okubanga balaba evaluation Kenya eno inaasobola okubanga ebasasula we bate basasudde kiki basobola okubanga bakwata obanga bafuna okubanga beddiza ensimbi zaabwe. Jjukira Kenya eno ebanjibwa obuwumbi nga nkugambye buli 9 obwa dola okuva mu ggwanga erya China ate nga siri eggwanga lyokka China lyebanja ku lukalu olwa Africa. Wetwogerera nga China ebanja abantu bangi omuli Zambia omuli Uganda wano ndoza mujjukira bayagalako n'okukyusa erinnya lya airport okubanga bateekako ndowooza ekigambo ekya China or something. Kino nno nga babala kijja kusobola okubayamba mpola mpola okubanga balaba ensimbi zaabwe zinaabasasulwa abo abantu oba abachina abo mpola mpola. So twogerera nga yo Chinese government yavuddeyo newakanya ensonga zino negamba tennaba kubanga ebeera mu lukwe olw'okubanga emonitoringa Kenya oba okubanga eweereza ba hackers okubanga bayingira mu system y'eggwanga eryo erya Kenya bivaako mu saidi zeeyo. Nga tuvuddeko kaawo waliwo survey eyakoleddwa abantu nno nga bagezaako okumanya in fact bagiyise the global survey on slavery. Bagezaako okuba nga banoonyereza mawanga kyaga agasinga okuba nga gettanira embeera eno ey'obuddu. Mu results baafunye bakakasizza nti nno North Korea, Eritrea ne Mauritania ge mawanga asatu agasinga okuba nga gayina obuddu. Tuba twogera ku buddu tetwogera ku slavery yokka, naye muno mwe muli kye bayita forced labor, mwe muli sexual exploitation, mwe muli forced marriages, mwe muli ndooza debt burdening. Bino byonna nno bikolebwa mu mawanga ago. Kisooka kikakasiddwa nti no Eritrea yesinga okuba nga efumbiza abaana by force. Abantu bano tebatera nnyo okumala nga kwesalirawo kugamba nti yono gwe njagala okuba nga mmala obulamu bwange naye, okuggyako bo abazadde be kye baba basuutinze kinaamukolera kye bagenda nakyo. So mu mbeera eyo bakakasizza nti nno Eritrea eno ne Mauritania ne North Korea ge mawanga agasinga okuba nga gapromotinga obuddu. Ekikwewunyisa amawanga nga g'Abawalabu tegannaba kubanga gayogerwako mu eno survey, era ekikulaga nti nno oluusi wabeerawo kye bayita thin line mpolampola mu mbeera eyo yennyini. So slavery is still on the high in countries like North Korea, Eritrea and Mauritania. Eno nno ndooza twetaaga kuba nga tukyusaayo mu mbeera eyo oba endala. Atuveeko kaawo tugendeko mu ggwanga erya Mozambique mu kibuga Maputo. Eno ye capital city y'eggwanga eryo erya Mozambique. Ekibuga Maputo bamaze dda okuba nga bateekawo night curfew okuva ku ssaawa emu ez'akawungeezi paka ku ssaawa 11 ez'okumakya. Kino nno kiviiridde ku mbeera ya high crime rate eyeeyongedde mu ggwanga eryo erya Mozambique. Kwegamba high crime rate teri wano mu Uganda wokka, naye mu mawanga ag'enjawulo nawo high crime rate yeeyongedde. Mu Maputo abaana bakwatibwa, there is an increase in rape, there is an increase in murders, and of course kati government egambye engeri gyesobola okuba nga ekendeeza ku mbeera eno weetaaga okuba nga bateekawo kafyu egenda okuba nga eyamba okukendeeza ku bumenyi bw'amateeka obugenda mu maaso mu ggwanga eryo erya Mozambique. Bo abantu b'eggwanga lino kino tebakiwelkaminze bulungi oluvannyuma lw'okugamba nti ensimbi badde bazeetaaga oba nightlife ebadde ekyakolera ddala naddala ku beaches ez'enjawulo naddala wali mu kibuga ekya Maputo. Jjukira Mozambique ggwanga liri ku coastline era balina zino zibayita zi beaches ennene ziluva okwaya nyingi nnyo mu ggwanga lyabwe eryo lyennyini. Naye mu Mozambique mwe twogerera ng'era n'okulwanagana kukyagenda mu maaso okuva olutalo we lwabalukawo naddala mu bitundu ebimu eby'eggwanga lino erya Mozambique. Abantu abakunukiriza mu 4,000 be baakattibwa mu ntalo ezo ezigenda mu maaso, era bangi ababadde displaced okuva mu maka gaabwe mu bitundu gye babeera okusobola okuba nga banoonya ku buddamu mu bitundu eby'enjawulo. Kino nno si kye kyokka, n'amataba gaali gatawaanya nnyo eggwanga eryo erya Mozambique, era abantu bangi ebintu byabwe byayonooneka, ate bangi abaafiira mu mataba naddala omwaka ogwo oguwedde mu ggwanga eryo erya Mozambique. So twоgerera ndowooza twetaaga tusabire eggwanga erya Mozambique okulaba engeri gye lisobola okuba nga litereeramu. Tuveeko kaawo tugendeko mu ggwanga erya Rwanda. Rwanda ndowooza mujjukira ennaku z'omwezi zaali around April omwaka gwali gwa 1994. The worst in history was experienced on that day. Twalaba nga it was the beginning or the mark of the Rwandan genocide, okutta okwali okw'abatuusi mu ggwanga eryo erya Rwanda. Eno no yali intentional, era abantu bangi abaafiira mu njege eno, abantu abakunukiriza mu kakadde akalamba be battibwa mu space ya nnaku 10 zokka. Kwegamba mu nnaku 10 abantu abakunukiriza mu miliyoni namba be baafiira mu kulwanagana okwabalukawo mu ggwanga eryo oba ekitta abantu ekyabalukawo mu ggwanga eryo erya Rwanda. So after 22 years ng'omu ku bantu abaategeka genocide eno baali beekwese omwami Fulgence Kayishema. Ono nno yakwatibwa oba yakwatiddwa mu ggwanga erya South Africa oluvannyuma lw'emyaka 22 ng'ali mu kwekweka. Ono nno Fulgence Kayishema ekisooka bamuvunaana okuba nga yategeka genocide n'okuba nga yagitakinga part in oba ye kennyini yali actively involved mu kutta abantu abatuusi mu ggwanga eryo erya Rwanda mu mwaka gwa 1994. Bano abatta omwami ono yatta abantu abakunukiza mu 2000 mu kanisa baali bagiyita Nyange Catholic Church. Ono nno ye yakulemberamu ekikwekweto ekyateeka abantu mu kanisa eyo ne bagikumako omuliro oluvannyuma abantu 2000 be baafiira mu kanisa eyo yennyini eya Nyange Catholic Church. Oluvannyuma omwami ono Kayishema Fulgence oluvannyuma lwe yamala okuba nga atandikawo ekintu kino oba okutta kwa style eno mu genocide, abantu ab'enjawulo bagyettanira nnyo okuba nga bakwata abantu ne babateeka mu makanisa ne bagaggalawo ne babookya. Oluusi baasookanga kubasanjaga ne babatematema ne bamala ne babateeka mu makanisa omwo ne bagikumako omuliro. Nno bino byetwogerako si bintu bya dda nnyo, bintu bya mwaka gwali gwa 1994 nga civilization etuuse mu mawanga ag'enjawulo ne mu Africa wano civilization yaliwo, naye byagenda maaso mu ggwanga erya Rwanda. Abantu abakunukiriza mu miliyoni namba be battibwa. Ono nno Fulgence Kayishema agenda kuba nga avunaanibwa emisango gino egyamuguddwako era katulinde tulabe engeri gye binaatambulamu. Jjukira yabagamba wano genocide eno yali ya tabu nnyo, abantu abagirimu baali bangi nnyo, era oba oyagala kuba nga omanya biki ebyagenda maaso genda olabe obutambi gye buli obwo in the aftermath nga genocide yakaggwa bweti. Rwanda we yali efaanana, Rwanda yali efaanana bubi nnyo. Kyovulaba as the president and the government of Rwanda basalawo bakole kye bayita reconciliatory program. Reconciliatory program yali yakubanga basonyiwagananga eggwanga because abantu emiliyoni enamba okubanga bafiiridde mu nnaku 10 ekitegeeza weetaaga okubanga olina abantu abali proportionate to that exact number okusobola okubanga omusango guno guzzibwa. Kikyentegeeza nti okutta abantu akakadde kamu nga tokozesa mundu, nga tokozesa bomu, nga tokozesa ndowooza tugambe ki zi landmine oba zi rockets ne grenades, ng'okozesa byambe, ng'okozesa just pistols, ng'okozesa pangas oba machetes, wali weetaaga okubanga abantu abakola omusango balina kuba bangi. Era kyovulaba abaatuuka ne basiba abantu naye nga tebalina bwe basiira mu ggwanga eryo erya Rwanda kubanga amakomera gajjula nnyo nga tebamanyina kyakuzzaako. Era the Rwandan government kye baalaba ekyali kisobola okuba nga kizza eggwanga wamu kwali kusonyiwagana. Baasalawo abantu abaali basse bannaabwe basonyiyibwe era bateebwe, era bangi baasobola okuba nga bateebwa. Abantu be baasalawo basibe be bantu abategeka genocide eno kati nga bano ba Fulgence Kayishema ne banne abaali ba spearheadinga okutta kw'abantu at the time. So be basalawo be bakwata, naye bennyini abaali actively involved baali bangi nnyo. Wali tosobola kukwata kumpi half of the country ogiziteeke mabega wa mitayimbwa, wadde era bangi abadduka mu ggwanga erya Rwanda baali bangi nnyo. Abaddukira mu ggwanga ng'erya Uganda wano, abaddukira mu ggwanga erya Tanzania mubajjukira, abantu bangi abaddukira mu DRC Congo baali bangi Abahutu abaali basse bannaabwe mu mbeera eyo eyali tekkirizika naddala mu 21st century. Abantu ne basobola okuba nga beetematema mu mbeera eyali so barbaric, really barbaric. Essaawa zino emyaka ndowooza gikunukiriza 26, in fact gisukkawo kati giringa 29 myaka oluvannyuma genocide lwe yagenda maaso. Rwanda redevelopinze, Paul Kagame abadde at the helm of this, agezezaako okuba nga akyusa eggwanga lino, eggwanga lya Rwanda ali promotinze, era byonna infrastructure osobola okugamba nti no bali bulungi. Naye wogenda mu bantu bennyini that division ekyaliwo, osanga abantu bakola ku station emu naye nga teboogeragana, they are not friends. Kwegamba that country is just silent, but really they still have the tremors of the 1994 genocide. Paka saawa zino osobola okugenda n'olaba biki abantu bye basobola okukola ku nsi kuno. Abasajja ab'e Rwanda eyo beetema mu mbeera etaali nnungi yadde. Akadde kaakano kantwala naye munzikirize njogereko ku ggwanga eryo erya Algeria we twogerera nga protest zatandise okuddamu mpola mpola. Jjukira abaasembayo okubanga baprotestinga gyali myaka 3 emabega nga bajjako Ahmed Bouteflika mu buyinza mwaka gwali gwa 2019. Ono nno yali afuze eggwanga lya Algeria emyaka 20 oluvannyuma lw'okumuggyako paka ssaawa zino tebannaba kubanga bafuna okutegeeragana oba harmony mu ggwanga eryo erya Algeria. Wiiki ewedde baakutte omu ku bantu abasinga okwekalakaasa baaliidinga n'eyo n'okwekalakaasa okwo okwaliwo mu 2019 okwajjako omwami Ahmed Bouteflika mu buyinza. So Karim Tabou ono nno yabadde akulembera ekibiina ky'okwekalakaasa kye bayita Iraq Protest Movement. Ono nno yakwatiddwa sabbiiti ewedde nga bagamba agezaako kubanga inciting violence. Ono afuuse activist wa mwendo okukwatibwa mu mwezi guno gwennyini ogwa May oluvannyuma lw'abantu okusalawo okugamba nti tibali mukulaga obutali bumativu bwabwe mu ggwanga erya Algeria. So abakulembera okwekalakaasa poliisi yamaze dda okuba nga ebagombamu obwala mpola mpola basobole okuba nga babakomako tebaagala kyaliwo mu 2019 akyeyongereyo mu maaso. Wano mu Sudan ku muliraano okulwanagana kukyagenda mu maaso. According to one of the war watch agencies, abantu abatera okuba nga bagoberera casualties olutalo lugenda lutya ebintu webityo bamaze dda okuba nga bakakasa nti nno abantu abakunukiriza mu 1800 be bakafiira mu kulwanagana okugenda maaso mu ggwanga erya Sudan. Wetwogereranga kati n'amaka g'abantu gakubiddwa mu kibuga Khartoum. Tewakyali nti nno zino ze war zones zokka nedda. Kati abantu nno bangi amayumba gaabwe bagoononekeddwa, bangi bafiiridde mu kulwanagana kuno okutalina yadde makulu yadde just bantu babiri kwemala gayagano nga balaga nti bonna baagala kukulembeze bonna bannamagye. Omu akulembera amagye gennyini aga Sudan, omulala akulembera kye bayita militia group gye bayita Rapid Support Forces RSF, ekibinja ekiwakanya enkola ya omwami Ahmed Burhan. Ono nno nga ye omusajja akulembera eggwanga eryo erya Sudan. Ono nno yakulembera eggwanga erya Sudan oluvannyuma lwa president yaliko at the time Omar el-Bashir okubanga ava mu buyinza oluvannyuma lw'abantu okulaga obutali bumativu bwabwe ne bagezaako okubanga bamujja mu ntebe mwe yali akakanyalidde mpola mpola. Tumalize ne okulumbibwa kw'amagye ga Uganda mu ggwanga erya Somalia. Obulumbaganyi bwabaddewo nga obwaba Al-Shabaab militants era bangi abattiddwa wadde ekiwandiiko kya AMISOM tekitubuulira bantu bameka abattiddwa, basoldiers bameka aba Uganda abafiiridde mu njege eno. Okubuuza kukyali kungi naye ansa zikyali ntono nnyo, naye nga kyolina omanya liyo ba UPDF officers abalumbiddwa mu ggwanga erya Somalia ng'ovudde mu kibuga ekya Mogadishu 120 km awadde base ya AMISOM ya contingent eya Uganda balumbiddwa ne bakubibwa bubi nnyo nnyo era abamu ku bo bawambiddwa aba Al-Shabaab. Aba Al-Shabaab tera balaba engeri gye bayisaamu abantu be bawambye, naye tusabe busabe nti UPDF ekiri ku nfeete. Wetwogeranga bamaze dda okuba nga basindikayo Major General Kayanja Muhanga, ono nno ye commander wa Land Forces mu ggwanga, yamaze dda okuba nga agenda mu ggwanga erya Somalia okulaba contingent ki oba mu mbeera ki gye basobola okuba nga bayambamu ba UPDF officers abali mu ggwanga eryo erya Somalia. Balumbibwa nnyo era bangi abakubibwa kyali kyannaku mu mbeera eyo. Katusabe basobole okuba nga bawummula kisa. Bannange akamalize ne story eyo era esasi abamasasi mu ggwanga abantu bakyafa naye nga bamu tebafudde naye ate abamu bakubwa n'amasasi abamu ne basobola okuwona. Olunaku lw'eggulo waliwo security guard yabadde akuuma wali eggaluga ku petrol station ya Starbucks yasobodde okuba nga ayombamu n'owa bodaboda n'amukuba amasasi. Owa bodaboda bamuyita Buwembo Kasule, ono nno gwe bakubye essasi mu kisambi, eyamukubye bamuyita Nikon Ogwang. Ono nno yabadde wa security oba mukuumadde babayita ba security mu ggwanga eryo mu ggwanga lya Uganda. So wa security ono ali attached to SGA yasobodde okuba nga akuba owa boda essasi, naye kyayambye nti owa boda teyafudde mu mbeera. Yamaze dda okuba nga akwatibwa ali wali mu poliisi y'Entebbe okuba nga abitebya lwaki yabadde akuba munne mu mbeera eyo yennyini. Parliamentary caucus ekyagenda maaso wali ekyankwanzi ba MP ba NRM ba MPs ba NRM bonna bamaze dda okuba nga bayitibwa era we twogerera nga bali eri ekyankwanzi okuba nga bamulungulamu ku nsonga okulaba engeri gye basobola okuba nga bakulaakulanyamu eggwanga lyabwe. Ndowooza bannange byebyo byensobodde okuba nga mbawaako eddakiika ziri 31 ezakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'okumakya. Nsaba tuwummulemu we tukomawo, tulina bingi, nja kuba negattibwako wano Farida, tujja kunyumya paka ku ssaawa 4 ez'okumakya. Sindika message zo mpola mpola, tujja kuba tuzisoma nga tugenda mu maaso na program eno. Nze Edgar Matthew Karuhanga, let's go for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704111720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought, but it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Hub Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Hub Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Hub, craft your own footprints.
Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Kaita ku ssaawa 2 ez'okumakya mbaaniriza nnyo ku programu ya mwenganzi ya Mighty Drive enono ye Digitalk TV negatiddwako abaami babiri omu political activist ate munnamateeka ate nga ye executive director w'ekifo kino oba even the national social movement, the national coordinator wa Alternative Uganda, that is a social movement, omwami Norman Tumuhimbise agenda kuba atwegattako bayatwegasseeko dda era tulina ne kanso Kato ono nno munnamateeka ne kooti enkulu omwami Kato Tumusiime naye tugenda kuba tunyumyamu naye. Tulina ensonga nyingi zetugenda okuba nga tutachinga base budgets nyingi ezibadde zifuluma mu ggwanga lya Uganda era tujja kuba tuwogerako eyo ensonga ng'ovudde ne ku ekyo waliwo politiki ng'egenda mu maaso. Abantu bava side za William Hozi project olina agamba ate kino ne kino akwegamba ate tumanyi 2026 afaanana atya bannamawulire abamu bayingidde dda kye bayita mu Hozi project bino byonna tunaabikola tutya kyekyebuuzibwa. So olunaku olwaleero nga mbagambye nina Norman Tumuhimbise ono nno ye national coordinator wa the Alternative Uganda ate nga ye national executive director wa Digitalk TV agenda kubanyumyamu naffe wano era tulina ne kanso Kato Tumusiime nga mbagambye munnamateeka ne kooti enkulu. Muzikirize mbaanirize tutandikirawo. Mr. Norman Tumuhimbise nkwaniriza nnyo ssebo.
Good morning. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sebo.
I'm glad I'm also here.
Muli muti eyo. Oli oti eyo sebo.
I use that way because I'm a family person unlike you. So for you speak on your own, but for me I speak for and on behalf of so many. So we are
always a witty gentleman, Mr. Tumuhimbise. Kanso Kato Tumusiime. Kiri kiti eyo.
It's Neazanyo Ediga and a good morning to our viewers.
The Kanso speaks for him.
He also speaks for him.
So many people that
doesn't have a will.
Maybe the twin, he can speak for his twin brother.
That's civil. You see, being a family man doesn't mean that you must have kids, you must have a wife and the rest. Family is beyond that. Yes. So the people we stay with, the neighbors and the friends that we wake up and give a call out. We also speak for them when we are here.
So are you sure they are fine?
Even the pets, even our cat is okay. That's why he speaks on a way.
I've talked to them and some of them are very doing well. And we thank God for that.
All right, it's always a pleasure to have you, Mr. Tumuhimbise here.
Thank you.
And Council Kato to just help, advise the nation. Olunaku lwaleero tetubadde na General Moses Bigirwa tasobodde kubanga atuuka naye of course tugenda kuba tunyumyamu n'abaami bano abali wano. Njagala ntandike ne Mr. Norman. Mr. Norman, eggwanga oliraba otya mu ndabayo wetwogereranga crime rate eri waggulu okutta kuli waggulu obwavu bosagana kubwogerako abantu babuwulira and we're in 2023. What does this speak to the country we are living in today?
For me it's to say whatever that you're seeing now is going to multiply bekuba bwavu bwekuba kutta bugenda kweyongera because there is a principle on earth kyetuyita self-preservation principle. Self-preservation principle ye principle esembayo nti kati singa wano tugezaako nze ne Kato n'abalala okwagala okutuusako obulabe, you evoke, it's natural, you evoke the self-preservation principle. Tomanya na manyi gye gava kwagala kwerwanako okusurvivinga. So abaana n'abantu abalala mukulu Museveni banne be balumizza obwavu n'enjala okutuuka ku kino ayinza okwevaamu nga takyalina kyakkola okugyako kuba katayimbwa ya surviving. So that's what we call self-preservation principle. Kati okutta stress biki bigenda kweyongera. So as long as the government so kati zine muganda wabanga siwa toliwa mukisa nnyo banga simukkiriza nnyo ayinza n'okkwejjirako obulago. So as long as ye okujjako kwe obulago kusobola beezaawo for a week, they would do it. But that's why even the government itself, because it must survive, also self-preservation. Ekola buli ekisoboka ekoleki naye ebeerewo kati gwe ne eyinza n'okukumi omuyolo omusolo eyinza n'osana kogamba muno okujja mu kibuga osasulenga obeeko ssente bwoziteekebwa chairman okukiriza okujja mu Kampala because it must survive.
Naye no man tubadde mu mbeera enimbi for a while. I can say abantu badde tebali bulungi obwavu era bubadde weebuli mpola mpola. Why now? Lwaki kati olitandise okubanga
no, we can't say muno bubaddewo like omanyi bwe bubeera bweyongera kati gwe 10 years ago did you ever hear any bodyguard would shoot their bosses?
No.
You get, because then perhaps the cost of living, of course it was costly but not as costly as it is now. There are standards that are stagnant, the salaries are stagnant, whereas our expenses are shooting up. So gwe obeerezaamu nga gwe zofuna ofuna amatwalo 3 jja kubeera 3 naye ate w'ennyumba w'osula ate ennyumba kiteeke kwa 35 buli mwaka yayongeza sukaali bino ebyokukozesa basics ne fees bamwongeza naye nga gwe omusaala gwo gusigala guli stagnant. So that's what it used to be and that's what it is now. Ne kati kibeera it's now worsening, like it's worsening. That's why for me I will not be surprised that the madness, for lack of another word, is going to multiply. And by 2026, I think so many tragedies are going to happen in this country. Wow. Yeah.
You're being a prophet of doom, no man.
No, it's not just being a prophet of doom. You say I am a realist. No, just being a realist.
You know, people don't deal well with the truth. Now, in our council, how did we evolve to such a time? I want to even speak mostly of the increasing crime rate. Njagala okyetegereze mu patterns ezigenda mu maaso. Teri lunaku luziba nga tiste wali muntu maybe gwe bakutenga bba oba eyasse munne oba eyeetuze eyadefilings omwana waliwo abaana kati I think in a space of a month every week obadde ofunayo omwana ali mu high school eyeetuga. Nayogerako ku story ya neighbor wange around nali wano ku Digitalk TV naye ne lunaku lw'eggulu baakakasiza nti waliyo omwana senior 3 student yeetuze. Why is it that the only option now is just dying? It's crime.
Thank you, Edgar. But you see, the problem we have as a nation is that most of us, I may not say I'm inclusive, have lost hope. And there is nothing very dangerous like a person who has no hope of how their tomorrow will be. Again, if you look at the agenda, I think it was a theme for 2016-2021 for this regime. It was Chisanja what? Hakuna mchezo. And I think when we moved from Chisanja Hakuna mchezo, now this is Chisanja. Chisanja full of mchezo. Full of mchezo. That's how they transformed it to now steady progress. And I think if we are being realistic, we are not in a steady progress. At least we would have gone back to, I don't know how many years ago, but not stay in this kind of a situation. You see, this is a period where students are going back to school. You get? And like Norman said, the economic status of this country, the growth of this country, economically, spiritually, and transforming from the era where people used to, budget for their 200,000 and it could mean something to their families. It's not the same era that we are in now. It's very, very, very hard because the times have changed. I'll give an example of 2001. I was in senior 2, I think. My dad used to earn here. He was a sergeant. He used to earn 137,000. By then, Bombo Army Secondary, we were paying 36,000 as fees. So he could budget with his small money and pay fees for a child. But today, look at the situation in schools. The parents, most of them even are unemployed. Because when COVID hit this country, and we are in lockdowns, so people, most of the employers learned a new trick, the new norm, learned how to live in a new norm, where he used to employ about 20 staff people. There was a driver, for example, if it's a studio, then there was a camera person, then there was a producer, then there was a person responsible for cooking, a cleaner, and the rest. So when that new norm came, people decided to reduce the number of staff, and it was still working for them. So many people lost their jobs. But remember, losing your job and losing your earning doesn't take away that you must survive as an individual, you must pay rent, you must pay school fees. Schools themselves increase the fees itself. In that you look at the requirements of a senior 1 student now, It's almost coming to 500,000 requirement alone. I've not talked about school fees.
It's like you're setting up a new shop.
I have not talked about school fees. The people get this small local called Akayonges, and it's full of things. Here, liquid soap, brooms, even a desk scholar has to take what is a squeezer, and you wonder, what is all this for? I think they are remaining to carry matoke from their homes to school as one of the requirements, because the teachers have to feed, and because they are paid very little, then they must survive from the students and what they bring in. And the issue of the increase in the crime rate, it cannot be ignored, because most of the people have been pushed to the wall, and they have nothing to do but maybe to look for other ways of how they can survive as individuals. That's why we have had increased rates. The other time I talked about the issue of these security people who are very broke, earning 150,000 shillings a month. That money they have to feed themselves while at work.
You mean the
security guards about security.
And this is the same injustice. To be honest with you, Council Kato and Edgar, it's on record that when you hire a security company, let's say to guide you, to be honest with you, one of the service providers here wanted 1 million per month. Out of the 1 million, because of the third of capitalists, they get 150. It's what they give to
this person who does the work.
Yes, who does the work. So you check, like the contractor is charging you 1 million, but out of the 1 million, gets 150 and gives it to them.
Exactly.
And these guys, because we interact with them.
Yes,
so they even they know how much you pay their bosses.
Those askaris, if you realize, most of them are working 2 shifts. You'll find an askari working a night shift. Ngava night shift duty wali na agenda straight to another day duty. And this is what is happening to them.
And remember, these are the people who carry guns. You get?
Yeah.
And we have so many people who are dealers, I should say brokers in this country, and they have identified that problem. So you cannot stop such kind of crime to increase, where such people holding guns earn 100,050 per month, and this person brings, for example, 2 million. You have seen them in banks holding their guns, very hungry, very angry, very like Kibecha Yabasinga. You look at them the way they look at you, even withdrawing your 50 from an ATM, and the person holds their cheek and they look at you and they feel like.
That's why at least you have to tip them, or there is a universal law that is not spoken of. Exactly. When you withdraw money for ATM, at least tip him a 2.
And they are there, and people will call them to help them carry the bags of money into their cars, and they will say, yeah, kwenda, because you are even a security person. You get? Yeah. So we have so many problems that need to be identified and solved.
My question is, where is the security apparatus in this? Because we're not seeing the people that have been convicted for these cases. People are still on the run. Is the police even vigilant? Where are they even taking our taxpayers' money?
It still takes us back to Bivirideke. Look at a CID officer. I don't know how much he earns a month. And this person is called to investigate, for example, Kato, for example, the Prime Minister and the Speaker, who are involved in the scandal of stealing the iron sheets for the Karachunas in Karamoja. You look at the wealth and the budget of a Speaker, and a CID who earns, I think the maximum can be around 500,000 shillings. And they have come to investigate a matter that involves billions and billions of money, and we are talking about cash money. Somebody will enter their bedroom and it's full of money, and this person who earns 500,000 has never even counted 20 millions, not for himself but for a friend, and he's looking at a room full of money. What do you expect from such a person?
I'm also not sure. But what is the role of police then?
You see, the police has a lot of roles. The idea is that they must work for the people.
Exactly.
To protect the people and protect
their property.
But you have had instances and cases reported even on TVs and in the news, where the police officers are involved in stealing, in theft.
Exactly.
In robbery. These are the police. Those who are not directly involved in the robberies, they hire their attire, the uniform and their guns, the people who get involved in robberies. That's the level of the crime, and we cannot
But
stop
when you
that.
say hire,
They hire because it has been talked about in the news by the spokesperson of the police, saying that the person who was caught in this robbery is not actually a police officer. But the investigations have revealed that the attire he was using belongs to one of us. That's what they always say. And the investigations are going on.
But your attire is supposed to be worn by one of you. Maybe it's one of you who's doing that. Because, Norman, I want to also speak to this. You've had many cases recently. The last one was Kayunga, where there was a roadblock by people putting on military fatigue
next
and
to
guns next to the Kayunga police station, CPS, the Central Police Station of Kayunga, next to, and just 400 meters apart. And these people were stealing, beating Ugandans, and nobody was seeming to
and you know what made it funny? The police people were in their offices sitting, I don't know, enjoying coffee, and they told us the following morning that they will do investigations. When the actual incident happened, when they were even at the station.
They would have just walked there. No, man, what does this speak of our security as a country? Because I feel we are more secure when we are seeing people maybe protesting, rioting, but there is something that has failed, something of intelligence generally, to find out that this crime is going to be committed. And also, apart from really finding out that this crime is going to be committed, even the mere fact that bringing justice to Uganda is very, very difficult. What does this recurrent injustice really bring to, or how does it contribute to the people that are in the country, Uganda, today?
You mentioned some key words like intelligence, and when you bring me here, I always give a tip on how other countries do recruit their intelligence officers. Here, like FBI has specific exams to test someone's intelligence and their logic and logical reasoning. Yes. In Uganda, for some reason, you have to be told, you have to be maybe recommended by some family, and that's the prerequisite for which some of you guys join forces. But that aside, omuntu omwavu, like if you are insecure at a personal level, you cannot secure others. Because and also the miscoordination amongst forces. You have seen so many arrests, rather demonstrations here, and someone comes in civilian clothes and takes charge. The people, basanze huko scene, tiriamubuza, identify yourself. You get, so police can be, let's say, in Kansanga, and anyone puts on a UPDF uniform and take a road block. Company in the police, and the presumption will be, these are also part of us, because there is no logic.
Because in
other countries or states or Europe, people will identify. Someone will come and say, identify yourself. When you I'm from FBI, I'm from is it DNA, National Drug Agency, NDA, or SWAT, thereafter, then you so who is the overall? I think you have a specific role. You know, you have brought a clear example of a person putting on an army uniform. No, nowadays you'll see people putting on suits like me here, and they'll come and say, wait, and they start giving orders, and nobody will question. Exactly. You will see even the DPCs with their ranks saluting jumbo sir, and they will right now. Never to gain doesn't I can go to police and now get to the suspect. So as long as you are confident enough, I just have to drive there and say, Nani, come, like they will, I mean, they are not coordinated, and we know they are not coordinated. So as long as you have that confidence, you will confuse them. So first of all, now when I'm recruiting, they lack confidence. No by ninja yawe, what matters gwebomwa yechebi osobola okutuma DPC no mwechebi no mutume commando, he will run on balance and you do anything you want. Thirdly, of late I have seen I think this huge man who speaks for police in Ananga. He has that weird uniform of late. Do you know uniform was gazetting some time ago? That uniform is not there. But because you guys, and that the reason for which they gazetted some specific uniforms at a time was to ensure that traffic, on regular police, on anti-riot, so you know.
Counter-terrorism?
Yes, a black number. But because you guys, you do your things anyhow, And I think he's the only, I think he should be the only person of late that's putting that uniform.
Nange sina muntu gwe nalaba nga
Nenge uniform bana abayizi bana abera mu wildlife if you have noticed. You
yes,
get?
yes.
That uniform, I think, if I'm not mistaken, kiringa kyaba wildlife. So you can't ascertain. Kati omusajja kati bw'akyambala. Najja wiza n'ogamba kyako na murasha. Majesi gawano. So there is that confusion. There is no coordination at all. And so as long as there is no coordination in troops, in policing, in security, there will always be insecurity.
But isn't that really?
Because for some reason you have even had sometimes nga bekuba na masasi. Bano bago babbi nite bakommunicate na bari mu maaso ne bekuba like you know and then here musimanga friendly what friendly fires. So it happens because you lack coordination.
But anti kati abantu bo basigaddewa. Because these people who are lacking coordination, because when you talk about, Dr. Bessie has talked about something here, weyagamba mbune naku zino amaje goyisuuliridde. You have amaje nga gakuuma enkoko z'abantu, wali amaje agakuuma farms, wali amaje agakuuma abakulu. Like there is no coordination in the forces, and with no coordination we are seeing things that are happening. So Private Wawire nga afuna emundu ya munne nagenda nakola ebibye. Apparently oli yagireka mu nyumba.
Confidently bring it back to CPS.
We are still yes. Ate nagikomya ku CPS. No whatever na muntu afayo.
And you can look at the distance from the parliamentary avenue to CPS.
Exactly. Intelligence yanagambe je tutayine naku zino ekyasembeyo mu amisom omanye ekyatubaddeko batukubidde ddala bubi nnyo. It feels like amagye tegakyalina coordination. Ate kino kitegeeza ki? Twasembayo wano nga bajja poliisi mu bantu. You remember nti bali bakuba poliisi. Mu police post obutono ne babuggala abantu. Abantu kati bali insecure. Kati munnayuganda ali kululwe.
Munnayuganda tali bwezi kululwe akyalina okubeera kululwe until this regime goes, because literally if you're being led by a selfish person, you know, selfishness it's just bad. It's a bad thing. Kati ye someone ajja kulaba nga faamu ye esinga bannayuganda, you know, value kubanga eno faamu efaamu amata asobola okutunda enti ate kati gwe wakusaba omusolo tova medicine 10. So why doesn't he get the forces now guarding ente ezi? You get, but also to add, if you are dealing with a unmotivated troop, rather troops and security agencies, there is a trouble. Ekikozesa abaana abantu first of all katugeze ng'abaana b'omu states abasirikale ng'afiira ku mulimu gwe, it's because balabira ku president ne kenyini eggwanga lyali yeetaaga. You do not have to mention that I am patriotic, I'm a Ugandan. An American ne bwabeera mu outside America kimukakatako awulira nga mu America. Munnayuganda wano nze nabagamba some time ago nti tujja nasutuse ekiseera nga bakubuuza ova bagamba ova mu Africa. You don't want to tell which country you come from because of the thuggery, because of the madness.
And there is less patriotism in this era. Have you realized that? Because
we learn from the little bird learns from the mother bird. If you look at the mother bird with the mother birds with how they behave, there is no way how the little bird will behave to the contrary. Because bo benyini bibakola tebiraga mbona gwanga nwakola ki bali aga, they're not patriotic.
Okay.
The best they can do is to simply say you so misaba no kwagala gwanga yawe, it's just bogus. You can't teach someone to learn to
chiringa gamba muno uyu tata oyigo kwagala tata okwagala
mama wangu kaungezo jana kavera ka green enchano jane bu ice cream olino jane ne chitumbuwa no sasula fees omwana automatically ajja kwaga
itaka kumutika nnyo wetukomawo tugenda kumula nayo tukomawo basebo njaga tusoke tutachinge base ku budgets naku zino tukaba bwavu. It's ironical that the budgets are bizarre and bizarre. Twali ku ya president yosaga kujiddamu naye waliwo ne MP eyaba MPs eyaba speaker wa parliament judiciary omutandika kulingiriza mu budget ya Uganda. Bingi ebisanyusa era tugenda kuba tubyogera ku katuwumulemu tukomawo tutandikira ku nsonga ya budget allocation naddala mu speaker's office ne deputy we. Lwaki ensimbi z'Abannayuganda ziringa ezidiibuddwa mu mbeera etali nnungamu bulungi. Let's go for a short commercial break.
alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi, Rogers. Can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Hub Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Hub Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Hub, craft your own footprints.
The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Eno Digitalk TV, mjira muweleza message zammwe tuli ku Digitalk TV ku Facebook ne The Alternative Uganda ku Facebook. Weleza message yo nja kuba nsoma mpola mpola. Kansokenzi kinyingireko wano mu budget ya speaker Anita Among. Sigenda kubanga njogera ku buli kimu. Nekyo ino okumanya nti bamuwadde mu budget eno obuwumbi 13.1 billion ze bamuwadde, so buwo obuwumbi 13 ne million 10 ezokukozesa ku zino kuliko ez'obulango oba public relations nonondoza sabiti.
What does she advertise? Does she have a shop?
Yeah, public relations.
And mulimu kuyingira mulimu gwa sabiti enaku zino yakola PR za Anita Among. So owa PR babuteddeko n'obulango million 7 ndoza wali, in fact no, yeah, 1 billion z'obulango ne public relations, million 7 zo za workshops, million 495 za staff training okutegeka ku bantu abakolera speaker, then million 547 mu emitwalo 2 zino za welfare ne entertainment kwesanyusaamu. Toseka kanso waliwo million 16 mu emitwalo 8 zino za ICT abakola ku computer postinga bifaananyi by'empola mpola tulina 9.6 million zino za property management okebirako property za speaker ziri zitya million 13 zino za byakwebika ngoye n'engato at least kono yetabadde nga president yasaba million 3.5 ono wa million 13 yenjawulo eyo waliwo akawumbi kamu mu million 3.4 zino nno za kutambula mu ggwanga gendako ewuwe Bukedya n'okudda ndooza million 8 munya zino nno za mafuta then n'obuwumbi 2 mu million 4 zino za gabako donations wayagalidde agabako bwatyo. Tugende wa Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa ono nno ye deputy wa Anita Among ono ye office ye bagiwadde obuwumbi 11 mu million 3 ku zino million 7 zo ze za workshops million 922 za bulango ne public relations million 455 za welfare na kwesanyusaamu then million 495 za staff training million 16 za ICT services million 17 za bitanda ngoye na ngato million 085 za mafuta millions akawumbi kamu mu million 3 zino za kutambula mu ggwanga then obuwumbi 4 mu emitwalo 3 zino nno za travel abroad wetogera nga esembayo 1.7 billion zino nno za kugabako mpola yeyo nno budget eya office of the speaker. Ngenda tandika nawe Mr. Tumuhimbise eno budget ogirowoozaako ki mu ndabayo?
Ndowooza wantandisoba ne Kato kubanga n'obusungu oba wandividde wakatonga obusungu bukakayi. I think for me and with due respect to whoever is watching and or the parliament of the Banana Republic, and I want to use a disclaimer if this is right, and because I did literature, so I select my words, I use my words selectively. But chibanga kino kituufu, we are led by lame brains. Lame brains.
How so?
If I repeat, if this budget is true, nga si kibozi kya bannamawulire what we are led by lame brains. Nti ku ggwanga lino nga bwe liri nga bw'oliraba that you have some woman in her capacity ayina seven entertainment afuna abo obudodi waba tebali bakuba budodi kadodi babikiri
nabo bebayetaaga osasulwa.
But I mean anyway I might sound emotional, but to say it is bogus, it is stupid, it is silly for this country as broke as it is, as desperate as it is, to have a Speaker of Parliament as extravagant as Marie Antoinette of France.
13 billion is approximately $4 million.
Because now kati walamu nanti kati gwe omukazi ono akugambye kuba muwadde akasente biliyoni jiba mitwalo ziba milioni 10.
Yes,
milioni 10 buli milioni erimu emitwalo 10. Ediga wangu oli omutwalo buli lunaku eyo sente n'ekika kyamwe kyonna tekirizimalawo.
Kituufu.
You get? So some woman,
if I decided to use
10,000
omanyire ebintu
kati gwe chikwa nomala katika mu billions
kafukira ekintu wano mu ggwanga lino sente twazimanyiza kuziwulira bwe tutyo owulira baba trillion 10
yakafula katono
trillion 10 but that trillion 10 is like $3 billion. Obalamu Aliko Dangote omugaga asinga mu Africa azitowa billions 15 kati gwe obubba billion 4 oba 3 buli mwaka ekitegeeza mu myaka 5 oba ogaggawadde okwenkana Aliko Dangote. Kyenjagala bannayuganda bamanyi
kati bakugambye nti ono omukazi ono omuzungu speaker ya parliament ya Uganda ndiyo kutambula kwe how many billions are there simanyi abaja kwa
inland travel 1 point something billion
kwa kizungirizi nga yabuuka mu bbanga okugenda ebweru gyaki kaja ina parliament dashi
okutambula mu ggwanga kawumbi kamu mu milioni 403
nga zikola ku kiko kati okutambula ate ndamu oteka ku fuel. I mean this
is fuluma zo ziba billioni 5.
There is a fuel za njawulo nezo kutambula za njawulo
byonna bya njawulo.
So what is now okay kati nezo kutambula za if it's fuel
waliwo n'okugaba ne donation nazo wanaatambudde ne zaanaagaba nazo tuzimuwadde sewo.
Maybe this woman, she has some special things she uses that we don't know. Maybe nga yayambala obulega bwa bulletproof. Maybe she uses, I don't know, oba bizigo nga bya. I mean, like it's just beyond any reasonable mind to say that given your economy, you can get such amounts of money, no just to individuals, the speaker and the deputy. By the way, I am one person who wouldn't mind giving all these corrupt leaders money if they deemed so. So as long as we were okay. For me, the biggest concern here isn't not giving them money. It's about how much do we bring on board. Of what importance, to be honest with you, don't you think that this Uganda can survive for even 5 years minus that parliament? Because Amin managed this country and achieved more than this parliament has. For 9 years, and just I want to believe that this country can survive minus that parliament. Just thinking, especially
Yes, sir.
Previously I told you Bagamba Semuju with his single head is worth like 100 MPs. One head like this. One head like this. Omugata kwa baranga bana batano sogenda kusanga parliament yetaga abantu 17. Mwebali ngabuba mara. Wakati to be honest with you omutogwa Semuju nze nganze guli mugo basi eja speaker ne deputy emtwe ngaga. Ngabiri because we tell you guys Mr. Museveni mwasente za kugula ngoye naye musajja abera mu shirt dress church chimuze kuchanga na Museveni like 10 years ago that is shirt dress that shirt thing that chineke komeno kati manyo bachi chusa na chifungula na chambala mu bikukuju mabega nebweru I don't understand but I'm saying that she want shirt so how where does the money go he's with his pair of shoes e China era really wana gamba ebisati ebyo night bye bikola because it's bullet proof makes it bullet proof so where does that money go for those suits? Nenga Semuju was asking and questioning Parliament. So to me, government is, in my view, and it's with due respect to my, to my speaker, nzo mutogwa Semuju, guli mwe mtoja ba speaker of Parliament ngama kumiyaga. Kati boji gata jirime milada ijawa wabamu gundi mukoka beyaleta ni maraga iweyo banji. You get? So ugenda kusanga Parliament to me, abantu ngabiri bama planning in Gwanga. You don't need too many. You don't need too many heads because now mesa manji like Uganda. Tegesi milachi.
Because number MPs bali bitana abiri mwenda tuchabetaka.
Buli onka kubalire average le million naga kubisa amufu na calculate and you see how much money you put onto your waist.
Atano tutuna bayingira munazala wensa.
Ate mwabo mwina munechi asimanyi nachogera ko mwina munechi wali muchine chichara nebine bisaje byali byeweta bono bugoddo wano you know that chiwona. You get kati ebyo nebina byetebiyana kubera ebyetebiyana sana kubera even an LOC chairperson. Nebiri ya bifuna million naga. Sebo ne muchone title honorable like you even abuse. That's why I mean there are very few people I call honorable in that thing in that house.
Okay.
Very few people qualify to be called honorables.
No man njagala ojja kwogerako nkasoke nzire wakati naye njagala oyogereko ne ku nsonga nti kino ekintu kigenda mu maaso expenditure ya government mu bintu ebitagasa yamanyi nnyo and it has been here over time naye kasoka to what's your take on this budget mundaba yogwe
Idiga, I've already said it so many times that we lack priorities as a country and we are being led by the people that we call leaders, but they are misleaders. And that's where the whole problem comes in. We have lacked honesty amongst ourselves to be open to those people and tell them you are wasting our time in that parliament. I've talked about it so many times. The other day, we had the whole leader of opposition and his team lining up at Hotel Africana to take photos. It was a photo moment. That's how I have always called it. And they were fooling the country that they are reading an alternative budget. When it's their role as parliament to do budget allocations, you get. And the issues they were talking about were the issues that would have been included in this budget if they were so patriotic to this country and if they so loved this country so much.
Yes, sir.
The problem again comes in where we have had the so-called the .com speakers, you see, and the confusion they bring in the people, in the public, is about using different terms, different words in English, but in the sense they mean one same thing. You get? Now look at the speaker's budget, and I want to say, not that I want to disrespect her, but I will disrespect her if it so wishes to be that way. She wants money, that's 1 billion for adverts and public relations.
Yes.
Why do you need public relations?
Does he have billboards in town? That today we're going to take a billboard Busia, but he's the Speaker of Parliament. Then take a billboard the Masaka Road, which is the Speaker of Parliament. What is she? I mean, what is Parliament itself? Parliament as an institution has its PR department with this man who used to be in monitor in those days. Chris Obwavu heads that so Obwavu has a different budget and this woman also has a different budget.
And that's the thing we're talking about.
And I am asking myself and the viewers, if there is somebody who feels that the speaker needs public relations, what is it that she wants the country to know
about her
that cannot be known through the PR, public relations office at Parliament, headed by Chris Obwavu? You get it includes adverts. I don't know what she's advertising. Does she own a boutique that she needs to be advertised and say this is the speaker's boutique so people come and support her? You get there is staff training. You see,
Parliamentary Commission does that. Under the Parliamentary Commission itself does it, not in the speaker's office.
You see, Edgar, before you are even given a job in public service, there are qualifications that are required from you. And before you can even take that office, there is orientation training that you must go through as an individual.
Exactly.
Does this, recruitment and training happen each and every year? And is the speaker responsible for training the staff? Does it fall under her mandate as a speaker? You see, these are ways used to swindle money. There is something so interesting about welfare and entertainment.
Exactly. That are we as Ugandans supposed to foot the entertainment and welfare of the speaker and the president himself?
There is something I want you to look at, Edgar. A year has 365 days. The speaker's entertainment and welfare goes for 547.2 million shillings. It means she consumes almost 2 million on a daily basis. You get?
Do they entertain her from her home?
That's the whole idea that I want the people to know. 2 million per day. The other day, somebody was complaining about the president, but they are forgetting about the speaker.
No, if you were to go counsel to the ministers as well, you will be surprised. If you are to go to the RDCs, you will be surprised. I've heard of RDCs who get tokens of 50 million just kumwebas. Who gives you 50 million for nothing?
Entertainment, which stress does this woman have to entertain her?
But you see what I'm trying to tell you. Yes, but because the speaker heads the parliament, and the parliament is responsible for budget allocations to different ministries. So what do you think where do you think the ministers get the courage to also increase their budget? Don't they copy from the speaker? Imagine somebody spending 2 million on a daily basis, for meals and entertainment. We have not talked about any other things, meals and what? Entertainment. There is another budget that is for property management. 9.6.
Rentals is like
9.6 millions. That is for property management. Which property? Is it the property of the Parliament of Uganda that she heads as a speaker? Or this is her personal property? You see, you have given so many words to theft in this country, and you want to sugarcoat it.
Some call it
swindling government money. You get corruption and misappropriation. And
those words.
There are so many words that we have used. So when you look at the other budgets that goes on further, look at the inland transport, Kutambulako. And there is that money different from the money budgeted for fuel.
Yes. And I want you to remember the
where
cars.
Are the two?
How are the two different? The cars that were bought at how many billion each?
It was 1 billion each, 1.2. 1.2 billion. You see?
Per car. A car.
Inland travels and fuel. So where does the fuel go?
Travel, does she throw the money on the road?
Where does the fuel
There is a budget for fuel. I think there is inland travel. No.
And there are cars that
I think there was already vehicles that. So, motoka pangise. Like literally, I think this guy is about to come to Twitter boom. No
man, ensonga misappropriating eya parliament okwewanga benefits enyingi ebadde ebeerangawo bannayuganda tusirise olowooza bannayuganda sifa abalina obuzibu
fena tuyina naye nanti kati ekizibu kiri
because the person who's stealing from you know him,
abaana
you know where they are.
Abaana baba n'obuzibu ate sigwe ng'omuzadde ogamba nti wano kaneekomeko. That's the challenge, because even when we could have obuzibu, I think for me kidda eri bo nti bandi baddemu n'omutima oguli wakiri waki n'ogamba yadde kale bannange bano yadde mbayitanga bumyu ate wano kiyitiridde. There is no way nze nga sinafuna buzibu ngaffe abalonzi kwata ki parliament ekyo ne abakirimu abantu 529 nti bo bambi
tebalina nawe batuula
mu kutegeera kwabwe onajja nga bakubako akasente nga bakalaba ate bakapasi.
There is a budget for bedding.
You guys
katimanyi oba ye amasuuka ge gandabirwamu gasulako nga buli mwezi balina okumugulira amasuuka.
This is 143.1 million shillings
but
for beddings and
you had something.
Have you seen her put on a dress that is so unique?
You guys, you heard what Semuju said
cost.
recently. Semuju mentioned that the parliament you send, or the people you send in parliament, do not read those budgets. They just pass things they don't know.
Kati ngono omukazi yali aweweta bawa munne gosubira yasoma amayine
budget pages ziberanga mmeka kumpi katabo kalamba bameka ba MPs abasobola otuula ne basoma ebintu ebyo really.
Ati bwe gambidde solution yanditandikiddwako ki parliament ekyo kukiggala batekemu banga batekemu ki. I think that thing bakifulenga hotel,
it's next to the theater,
so
it must be used at an
extension. Bajjemu abantu bajjemu nga basemujju bantu nga baabo bantu nga abiri babeko batuuzanga abo ne bo mu million 5 buli mwezi nengo era abantu 100. They can plan for this country and the rest should go home but joining it nonye emirimu fenna.
Kitegera kyogamba
just for export.
Kitegeeza kiri Bannayuganda.
The air itself have become a very big problem.
Very dishonest.
Very dishonest to themselves. Very dishonest. And trust me, Edgar, if I was in that parliament and I look at how it operates and does its activities, I think I wouldn't even spend the night there.
You're lying.
As an MP.
There is money.
You cannot sit in that
parliament.
It's not all about money.
Let me tell you, that parliament, there are people who have gone in that parliament sin, and when they reach there, I think it's contagious.
This honesty that I'm talking about.
I think also why you journalists mislead others is for you to think that is motivated by money.
No, everybody who was in that parliament, it's like it's contagious. One time, they were on set, Semuju and Nsereko, and Semuju was pretending that he does not want the money for the car. Nsereko asked him a very good question, that Oliawo Gamba, toyaga tufune sente za motoka, webatu eza sente za health wazigana. Eza health tetwazimanya nako. That means there is money that goes there, everybody eats. And you've realized when it comes to salary, that is the common denominator. They're all friends.
By and large, the point here remains.
Yes, sir.
There are some elites in that parliament that have served the purpose for which they went there. And there are also lame brains who literally are elites. So you can be an elite but with lame brains.
Yeah, you can have a degree and still be a fool.
Because literally you go with, by the when you go to parliament, they don't give you another head. That density, you leave your electorate to parliament remains. In fact, if you're not lucky, that density multiplies because jakwata amarogo nenna kuyewa mu ekika kyonna oyagale ogule motoka ya 1.2 billion. Kubange ekyalo kyammwe ojja nakyo era Katonda batakuyamba n'osaba nekikuvaamu kyovola Mustafa Idris yali vice president wa Amin bwe bawamba Amin namu vice president yagula essaawa ezi ng'ewere kudyenda nakukono nga zonna za bbeeyi za gold yegeza balabudde bwe bumu so omutwe gwo nga gwojja nagwo kati gutegeera era bwe tuka mu parliament bwe gubeera.
Does that speak of the quality of the populace? Because bano abantu bwe mulugamba bava mu ffe. It is a representation of who we are. Mubonna tweronda ne tugamba mufenna abali wano ono yalina amagezi agasalirawo ffe.
Eddiganze nzize nkigamba.
Asigamba ono yalina amagezi agasalirawo ffe. Nawe kyezigamba nti ono yalina obusiru obutukiikirira. Because sometimes waliwo abeera n'amagezi agabakiikirira then wabona alina n'obusiru obubakiikirira. So kati oyo omukyali yali aweta munne omutwe mu parliament. Oyo tose bagamba ono yalina amagezi agatukiikirira. Ogamba ono yalina obusiru obukola ki?
Yagamba tebali in session. Kasi wadde nakyo yagala okwogera.
Yes, kimbadde nkugamba.
Doesn't it reflect
I've always told you the kind of politicking that we go through as a country.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to take a look at the recently conducted elections, 2021, and the quality of the people and the criteria that was used to select I will not use elect, but to select them. Somebody sits in their house in Kamocha, and somebody who has maybe a bigger bargaining power, that's money, is the one that will hold the card for a political party. And that political party will go around the country and, you know, give this false hope and false confidence, false consciousness to the people that to the day you vote me, that's the end of your suffering in this country. You know what happens at the end of it all? Sitting in parliament and nobody will even see them. I don't know in how many years some people were making their maiden speech. And you know what they were saying in their maiden speech? I am called so and so, honorable, representing this place, and I vote yes. And they write that honorable so and so has made his maiden speech. Remember, we are coming to the next elections. And those are the same heads the electorate will even send back to that parliament. Because they have gathered the capacity and the money to buy for them a kilo of sugar and a bar of soap, if that's to make it a roti. And these people, most of them have lost hope. To the extent, may have given you examples here. When you go to your village and maybe you'll go driving a vehicle and people will gather around you, because you have helped them and maybe you found them hungry and you said, the next day you'll be calling, Honorable, come out. And that's the kind of the situation we are living in as a country.
Yes.
I've talked about so many MPs that you normally see sitting in that house when session is going on, and they will not even cough, because their coughing sound may go through the microphones of that parliament, of that house. But they will wait for you journalists in the corridors, and they will say, and you wonder where they are.
But I feel you're attacking a certain sector of members of parliament.
All of them,
which really makes does not even equate
most
to
of them.
20%.
And you see, Edgar.
And this has nothing to do with opposition.
Opposition and the government themselves.
Council submission is really delving onto the opposition.
But even if I take it to opposition, because you have seen what the opposition preaches.
Opposition is not more than 20% of the entire parliament.
Opposition. Maybe bajani mukolero ne bogera. Ni wabale wanonga embuto zibereze babatwala chankwazi nga bibata.
Exactly.
You know, when they reach there, none of them asks any question. Ono muzeyi chikofira will get his marker ade kukagonde this white board abasomese bagame tetula baga muntu mugeza singanya katonda ngono musajja. They come back home ngabona you wait for them next week and they come back, you'll be shocked. Tetutegera nga parish mode engage tamu musajja yagitusomesa twagitegedde, like those guys.
I don't ask them what is included in the
parish. When you look at that
PDM,
we are halfway into the Chisanja, but MPs tebategera PDM.
Really? What
does that mean?
You see,
listen, the word, you see, I want to guide Mr. Museveni. Even, I don't know, maybe because of his age, he may not understand some of these terms. The word model is to stand for something exemplary. A model. So Mr. Museveni, in his wisdom and the team of already guides, one parish or two. They must talk about their emphasis and they see how this whole thing works. I was telling some colleague, a young man that has a salon. If these guys had brains indeed, I would, if it was in my view, and not if, I think I should use when, in the event that I was in government, I would get a team, a yabantu, abategera. So they come and identify young people in that parish. Nagamba, Kato runs a saloon. Ngambuza Kato mu saloon yo mubula muchi. Kato nga mubula mu sterilizer, mubula maybe ka machine akasala enviri, mubula maybe one extra chair. Oh, fine. Ngabwe mpandika. So my ministry now goes and procures Kato ayagala ntebe ya saloon agane ka machine kamu nobiri. So Kato every month abeko we say because each chizu kyali that's for me, that's how the parish model would work. Na yo mwana asuze njale emyaka J2 afunye kubanga afunye million baba kunganyisa chi group mulimu obwongo bagalo kuvuga boda mulimu obwongo bagalo kusika Rolex mulimu obwongo bagalo kutandika ka boutique baba wadi million 5 ekisokerwako kusoka kugula Nike engato ya mitwalo 10 Tajambalangako ebigere
bino basooka kuzeetemerawo nga bakaziba
obeera omuyambi eki. So for me it would be ideal build the capacities ez'abatulide abatandikiseeko with scratch abalina kyebatandikiseeko nakyo naye tojja kukwata bannakyala enjala yabattadda bonna ennimi zibali mu bbanga obaliwemu ssente. That's a bonanza. You will never get that money. But also because Museveni doesn't understand what he's promoting, that's why he will be there and he waves at people and he's happy. Nayenga bali yekenyini bali mukumubba. In fact byonna byakwebba abakozesa no bamukozesa. He will come, he does his politics, but I can assure you never twogera gamba abantu bano tebagaliza government simanga program zayo tejisobola kola Edgar. Kwa example tonotono in our little experience in regards to developing people, you will come, set a committee, identify what are the problems as a man and celebrate those small businesses. Nti omwana abadde ayina mu saloon bomwe yokubiri, it means agenda kwepulonga omulala asali enviri mu saloon. You get? Naye okwata omwana nga yekirowoozo yalebe saloon ya Edgar eyabika bulungi n'ozimu sente. Tamari was running, that money is just it's a waste.
Stuff. Council njagala nzije oyogere ku the total budget we have is 52 trillion. Naye cash gwe tulina gwe tusobola okukosa 25 trillion. It's not even half of. Endala tuli mu get domestic loans. In fact,
amwina ne manerenda wa Kenya.
N'aba China tubalina buli omu ayagala tuwa ssente kwe ganfa abaddukibwa.
Naye katononya Edgar, anti kati baba n'ekisajjasajja ku kyangwa tekitegeera. Kyo nga gwe tekimanyi kwesa sente zaakyo naye nga gwe kimanyi kijja kusasula era okiwola abo baba teri manenda
tagala bagamba because
teri manerenda ataga musirusiru so as long as amayo jasasula
budget ya feno a huge chunk goes back to debt payment every year. Ekirungi ekyo President Museveni akikozeeko ekyo gamba agasasule wadde nago geeyongera bweyongezi naye every budget tubeerako ne sente zetuteekayo eri naye kanso what does it speak of? We are having such money wasted but there is no money in the country. Tuli mu mabanja kati twayisa ne threshold ya 81 trillion.
I heard you're going to use Rwanda to borrow on our behalf because
exactly,
you guys cannot borrow.
Tukyayagala kwewula naye ate nga tukyayonoona sente tugula ngoye za president, tukola veterinary, tugulya speaker engoye. You guys, you're just looking at these people. When you start looking at the benefits of the different government holders, go to the RDCs, you'll be surprised. Go to the ministers, you'll be surprised. The state ministers, permanent secretaries. There is a lot of money that is being wasted in this country in human resource. Even the human resource we are seeing, it is not doing anything. Look at parliament. Parliament in offices. In MPs, there are people who are working in different offices. But in 5,000 people just working around there, cleaning, doing council. Where are we going? Do we even have a direction as a country?
Edgar, we have a full ministry. We actually have ministries. One is for national guidance, information and the rest. Then the other one is for planning.
Exactly.
Planning. And you wonder which kind of planning we do as a country.
Okay. Where are we going?
I've told you we have lacked priorities as a country and for so long. And I think the whole issue can be resolved by making an overhaul of this government itself.
They can be resolved by dissolving that parliament.
Yes, dissolve the rest of the parliament because it's a wastage of time.
But it's an arm of government. We still need...
We have had arms of government, but where it doesn't serve the purpose. No man gives
I have written in one of my books, I have told you that there is unity of, there is disunity of purpose. If you are diagnosed with cancer on your, let's say, your leg.
Yes, sir.
And doctors tell you, kugulu cancer might spread in wenna. You may choose to chop off the leg. That's what we call disunity of purpose. So they will have disunited your leg from your body to live longer.
But to live longer.
So it is also possible that you can dissolve that parliament for purposes of saving the whole country. That's the only theory I can apply.
Edgar, n'abasomi ba Bible abasinga.
Baneba minister ekitegeeza ne cabinet egende.
Tekati
ogoba parliament bagamba bagaba bikeringa toleete bikeringa.
Aha, kyenyawo ekitegeeza
ne Bible Edgar tugamba. Bw'oba olaba ng'olina eriiso oba omukono nga genda kukulemesa okugenda muggulu. Gutemeko.
You guys.
No, I am giving
Do you want our opinions or you want your opinion?
Wait, let me also educate
This is not opinion. wanonveewo jebo to opinion is now because literally chetukugamba that's our opinion. They want to understand the person. Where can so?
No, you
want solutions.
The Bible was not in it. You remove the I.
What was it?
You're a literature scholar.
It was a simile. It was a simile. Chetugamba.
We have used the same simile.
Chetugamba nekyo parliament. Nanga kigatole mesegulunga in which tukugeza eggulu kwekula akolana kwegwanga kigale teka mukaliyo kiteka mu kamiliyoni ajenga VIP onagala entertainment ajenga VIP atule mu maso leo entertainment kigale
we're talking about
but
a body that represents the people.
Edgar, but we are being serious here. Edgar, we are being serious, and I'm giving my opinion, and I'm giving the solutions to overcome all this kind of extravagance that we have as a country, even when we don't have the money. You see, we would be very okay if we had the money that we say we can make the 52.1 trillion shillings to run our budget. That would be very okay. But look at the budget and where it is prioritized, where the biggest shares go. Office of the President.
Yes, Office of the President.
Office of the Speaker. You
State House.
State House itself.
Then Minister of
to
Defense.
The extent.
Kato, I was, I think, yesterday watching one news and I realized that there are some ministries, ministers, and katika tugeze ministry ya education. Waliwo ministers manga owa primary
education,
secondary education. Simanga abaganda mubi nyumya simanga owa matekera ga waguru. Then ne overall. So mina Janet, muina Chrysostomu, muina ne Kaduchu.
Muina tobazo wa sports.
The same ministry then other commissioners state yo alifuga bwabera mu buliri ewalowooza alowooza nga Yesu lise obayenengeja alowooza.
So my point, Edgar, was this: we need an overhaul, dissolve this parliament, and maybe start from the word go. We can get better brains that can think for this country. The planning ministry and the national guide, I don't know what the herald is. If the planning ministry cannot plan and maybe make an overview of how things are running in this country, then it is worth even not being there, not recognizing the country. You talked about the issue of parish development model, and that model was clustered in 7 clusters, if you remember. We had infrastructure, we had markets, we had what? So many. From the word go, when that model was introduced, Edgar was here with you, and I told you, Edgar, we are wasting time with this model. I told you the same approaches that were used in Emyoga, Bonava Gagawade, Simanyi, the youth development model were the same approaches that were brought in the parish.
Just the change of the name.
It was a change of name, and the problem that we have had is that we have a regime that believes in giving incentive to their supporters so that they can be happy. Because the government will not carry money and throw it to you. But they will bring it. You have seen even when the program is not known to the leaders that must be accounting officers in this. That is why the parliamentarians. They don't know about the parish model, and the president is the one telling them, teaching them. And they are the people who pass the budget that should be used in the parish development model.
Do you think this parliament is the worst parliament we've had in the history of all the parliaments we've had?
You see, Edgar, for me, what also amuses me about you journalists is that sense of pretense. You also know the answer.
No, we are neutral.
When
I'm here, I'm neutral.
Until Uganda, and that's where you will go.
Yes, you are neutral, and when you are out there,
I can have my own partisan views.
Okay, in my view, apparently this parliament, I think the word bogus is an English word. Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of those most bogus parliaments we have had in this country. In as far as selfishness is concerned, befako ngabo nimatafayo nze I want to repeat my words sikubati tetubagaliza naye embeera eggwanga gye lirimu tetusobolesa kubeera mu kidiibuudo kya ssente kino. But if we had the money, but our economy is doing well, Saudi Arabia and some other countries, no one would even mind that woman having 2 helicopters. Then I wouldn't mind Anita Among having 2 choppers, one for herself and another one for the husband, if our economy was okay. But in this economy where we are not okay, it is also okay for Anita Among to have 1 TX and maybe 199 as Haridika until our economy is built strongly to manage this country.
Because we have countries. King Charles III, the king of one of the greatest empires that have been in this world, he moves in one car. He's just the driver of a car.
Charles Taina banji banyiziza bayiza mukanyugira mayinja kati ono ye tumuyambe ko kati tugambe our speaker bamuweyo akamoto kakamaka mukulembera akalala atulemu nga economy yafe bweterera economy balo terera bakwate motoke bamuwe helicopter emweye endala bajwe bawe n'abaana be buli masolo funa naye for now we need to go back to the basics and say guys tabwe tugwiridde baana mmwe obadde teke bijiko bisatu ebya sukali mu chai teka mu ekitundu kyakajiko uleja bitungunune nayo maleganywa anti tomorrow
no man edda twakula tumanyi oli emyezi 3 bwe twakula tumanyi is that the reality today Kato
bofuna ekimuga oyisengalo mafika mahamye
kwa story ya lugendo kasolo nakolonga
olinda rwacha
really go gamers
but you
see your
Edgar,
final submission
yes on this issue we have always had countries, so many countries where they're going under a financial crisis, as like we are in now, they always do budget cuts. They cut down and reduce their expenditures.
Here you
but here,
on loans.
how many people talked about the speaker's budget?
None.
Not even opposition.
How many people talked about the leaders of opposition budget in that parliament? Chief Whip wa government.
Chief Whip in budget.
Chief Whip wa
opposition. If you did not
Chief
Whip inachagabako. Zisimayina Chief Whip fundamental obane nezo sente mwezili ne mu Chief Whip Act emuwo mulimu gwali na the Parliamentary Act.
Baina budget je ba running. And we have ignored all
what
that.
What is the budget of Obwavu? What budget should we give you?
I think go get the kobuo wa government. You get a kono Nambeshe wa opposition. He has a budget, a huge budget. And when they be there and trying to
Edgar and Kato ekintu ekyafuula kyakuvandula kulya buli kati ono Nambeshe kasitaba nga asobola ku approvinga eya mukama we ono muzungu kati neetwa swa
tibaina joke
kati kintu kyabaddiira era mu wano mugenda ne mubala wa mawulire nebe bwebimala okwegalira mu karuumu eyisha buli omaja toothpick basooka be
are those the reasons why olaba mbuno parliament ekkiriza bulungi presidential budget neeyitawo bulungi
ate kati bojiwa kanyagalidde opposition eyo bajajisa
nawe nyinawe enkukwatira
so buli omu kajegerera buli omu
segeza buli omu kububwe Katonda yali
kusawo okuyiseewo
Katonda kyakana yatuvaamu
ye life kati
Katonda tuvaamu
atwana kuvamu ga kumeka
it's a parliament of dealers
Katonda kyemanyi file ya Uganda yagikwata n'abakwakeka gamba bali yesotinga ulukamba back have you had those things at school no by any institution gamba bo bana bana banne file kasonga giteekaawo besotinga ulukamba back after
kastabali zukuka no man ngatumaliriza kwanda atinda cha 15 ja twogere ku politicking egena maso there are still politics of 2026. We don't know who's coming. Is it going to be the Father, the Son,
and the Holy Spirit?
And the Holy Spirit, as you
the
love to say.
Who is coming?
We don't know who's coming, and we are at a time where people, Ugandans. I'm speaking for some Ugandans.
But you don't ever add me with things.
So for you, you know who is coming.
No, my precise submission today. I can assure you. When is today? Today is. What's the date? 29.
29.
Mohoes won't appear on the ballot paper 2026.
I also think that.
He will not appear there. I want to believe his father is coming in 2026. And Bannayuganda mwirabira nnyo. Ate ekizibu kyamula kwati mwagala kusoma n'amazima. Museveni wano bwe yali akola amendments ku article 103B ya age limit 102B. Yadduka kimutajukira na damu na amendinga age limit nagikomyawo. If you don't remember, age limit yakomawo, meaning Museveni kati okutuka nkabula obuto ya kati nekisanja kye kisooka
ebisanja byako
kubisanja bibiri kati kyanya kye kyokubiri kisembayo kya between 2026 and 2032
age limit
term limit yagikomyawo. So bwe yagikomyawo Museveni zikisanja kati ekyemyaka 8 egisooka kiggwako 2026 akomewo n'ekyokubiri ekigenda ku 2026 paka 2031 kati aikana short between me and you Museveni tagenda kuddamu ku amending constitution okujjawo term limit. It's not going to happen. So literally Museveni has extra one term okumala emyaka 10
ejiri mandated by the
abawe omwana wo abeera mwana w'omwami abeera ani mutabani we kati oyo omwana I want to also give some bit of a prophecy between now and 2027 or about that. He's not a boy, he's a man. He's likely ajja kubanga amaze okuyitaringa mu magye, and chances are he's going to have some ministry so that he can blend with the civilian way of politicking in preparation for 2032. Now this confusion between now and 2026, that man, boy, whatever he is not going to appear on a ballot 2026.
Okay. We're seeing
whatever he's doing now. I have seen him with some gentleman who used to be, in my view, he used to be a brilliant man.
Wemba denzi jao. Nisoko endako gina submitting yao council njagana yaso katubulire. What do you take of the politicking that is going on? 2026 President Museveni, Muhoozi, and I think that is it. They're the only options we have.
But politics is a science. It's not arts. It's a science. So it depends on how you play it. The best player takes it all, and it takes preparations for one to decide. But like I told you, the way we are still taking these things, we have to. I will give 2 examples. President Museveni will not be on that ballot if he's normal, if he's dead. But as long as he still lives, he will be on that ballot 2026. Trust me. And I've said it so many times. But look at the instance where President Museveni is normal. And he cannot be on that ballot. And we still have this kind of rumor-mongering around with your politicians of opposition, bringing promises after promises, bringing, what are they called, slogans. Removing the dictator, I don't know, Taja Chimarako Omwaka, you know, and those funny things. We shall have Muhoozi come. That is where the father is normal. Muhoozi will come and we will be the president of this country.
If we continue.
These people that are playing funny politics and enjoying their life, and they think that's the end of it all. Because they have lacked planning. Because somebody who plans, actually who thinks he won the election in 2021, and he's planning to come on the same ballot in 2026, and he's just there, not even sitting down to analyze what caused his defeat, where he lost, and he can, you know, put his power and energy in those constituencies and areas so that he can gather the support and it can enable him win an election. And he's just there busy making concerts and the rest, and you think we have something different that will come in 2026? So these are the 2 instances. If President Museveni is still alive in 2026, he will be on that ballot and he will be the next president.
Okay.
If he's no more, we shall have Muhoozi come and he will defeat whoever will be there and he will be the president.
Okay. Mr. Tumuhimbise, what is the problem with Muyanga Lutaya supporting Muhoozi?
No, sometimes this is when I want to communicate using 2 languages for purposes of the consumers of this message.
Yes, please.
Simanyi obanjogera Luganda na Luzungu. Kasooke na Luganda. Omanyi, in my home, we used to have someone called Kamadi. Kamadi yatulanga mu kirole bino birole bitwala ebireta amatoke Kampala. Kati nga bwe biseerera bagamba Kamadi n'abalala ne bajja bakisindika ne badda mu bitoomi ne basooka basindika ekimotoka bakisindika bakisuka kasozi olumu basooka ne bakivuga ne kisituuka eri mu maaso bagamba jangu okibuukire kati yakyoka nga ayina ebitoomi. Kati yatamu Kamadi this politics kati Muyanga Lutaya ne ba Kamadi balina ekimotoka kye basindika ki Bedford nga bo balina okusaaba n'ettaka bakisindike paka kasozi. Kati bajja bagamba mukibuukire ate bakwiza kutuula mu maaso. In fact ndiba mukozi n'abala bakwirambya waliwo kibayitanga ku kalevu motoka kitwala motoka zina akalevu. Akalevu litwaliwa n'akatanda we kali kati weekwatako wano mumabega katanda kati wagamba linnya kalevu ka loole. Kati ono Muwanga Lutaya ne banne bano nga bali kalevu ka loole be Bakamadi be waffe mu kyalo nti ono nanyini kimotoka ki Bedford Muhoozi ne banne bo batudde mu maaso.
Muhoozi ne bamwenda
bo bali mu maaso. Mwenda omanyi n'ebirole bino waliwo ne batula waggulu ku kitanda okay kino mubavugira wala batula waggulu nyine eno mubavugira then wabatula kati bamwenda bali waggulu si mu maaso muno mulimu the ankles
The Toyotas.
The
Very good.
chairman is
Aha, kwanga nawo watono tebajjamu kati bamwenda bana kati bano mwenda bano babala ate bala mwekana bala matina yali ku kigali ni mabega ku kigali kimuyambako ku kigali nti ne mabega balina privileges ndicho kimotoka kibavuga olumu kibeerako bundizi nga wengedde kati ye babeera kiwalo kyesukuna mu binnya bwali akandizi wali mabega so bala mu muyanga lutaya bibano bya kamadi benakugambye tebaba nangatto no
why are you most disappointed
no listen bo bagisinga mu empale bo batini bali nyako ttaka tebaba na boots kati bakwate ebitiyo nga kimotoka kikoze kiseredde so bibano bali mabega kati bano bamwenda bambi ko bagezigezi muko abeera kumpi bano bavugira amanyi n'okulingizayo bwatega mu maaso wali ekinnya n'ebiti babeera bayita mu biti ebikwavu bakuba ne bagwa mu cover so literally that's how I can describe this whole thing. But also add, when you typically and you choose to watch this event, my favorite Katonda tuyamba natwa ku bwongo nti tuwoze emitemu tibiraba. Do you know to belch?
Okubejjagala.
Very good. Kati waliwo abantu babiri okitale ndala bachine kifananyi cha what is his name muyanga lutaya ne munne ntwaliwo omwebajjagazi nga yebajjagala mukkuto bwa bugagga no omwebajjagazi nga yebajjagala bwavu kubulwa suube na bunaku you get kati nga these both smiles are false smiles muhoza alaba omuntu gwina to take advantage of okumukozesa ne musajja mukulu muyanga lutaya naye alaba omugagga gamalange kamukwakoleko wakiri kali ku kimotoka kiri kyenakugamba ekyakamaadi era ne kamaadi nga kimotoka kitambula bwe yakivangako nga kipakinzi nga manyi tunyumiza fe ngaabaga twabadde tuvuga yetwalamu ku babadde bavuga because yasobodde okukibukira wali kalevu nga kiseerera n'akisindika kati ye n'afuna chance nekibaako ekimutuusa kati nono naye bwali that we have now this some person mwebajjagazi who belches obugagga because it naye because yetaaga nono omwavu yebajjagala obwavu ayinako isono for his personal gain. The same thing I told you about this analogy nti omuntu avuga ki Bedford kiri bitata bine byajjanga erwenge wafe nga biseerera tasobola kukivuga ate nga bwe kiseerera bwakisindika wetaaga kabwa kamaadi abana akisindika kati bano babalamu bano ba muyanga lutaya batamale emirundi n'abalala be balina okkibuukira mabega bakikole ki be bano okiwadde omuliro kisindike era ono driver wakyo bwe kiseerera takivaamu mwe bagamba mukole ki mujjemu engatto mukisindike era ebiseera ebisinga abamu kiddako ni mabega ne kibafotola you have seen those things nti badde bakisindika ne kidde bakikola ki era essaawa yonna bwe kidde mabega obubi bwe kisooka okufotola bibano bakamaadi ba muyanga lutaya batamule mirundi kati ono ate buno obugezigezi nga bamwenda abeera waggulu wano waggulu ku kitwe kino ekivuga wano bumanyi olumu okubukako ne bagwa eri oba olumu ne bagwa eno munda gye bavuga yadde wabeerayo akabindo ne batika akabindo. You get?
I get what you're saying, but the story of Muyanga Lutaya isn't it the story of many Ugandans who have sold their souls for money?
Because you are brilliant. How come you haven't sold yourself? No, aren't you brilliant? Why? How come you haven't sold yourself? My soul for him and others. It takes kaliako gana yo manyi katonda.
Nemunyanga itogera amabanja ge yalina.
Fena tusaba tugamba katonda. Bwe tunaba nga tukulya mu nsi ya folo kwe.
Tuina yo mabanja.
Bwe tugamba
gere wa.
Bwe tunaba tusaba katonda bwe tunaba nga tunatenda okulya mu nsi ya folo kwe atutwale. Because it's not fair. You see, it's just not fair. Nti Muyanga Lutaya kale mu lunyankole eryakace otukula omulundi olya katono naye leka n'osigala ng'olinamu ensa ate Muyanga Lutaya asinga okwaku mu nsi muno mu Uganda. I mean, it goes with your head. It used to be funny and you take your head and your soul to the devil n'ogamba sitaani n'ebikolwa bye byonna either nsalawo okwegaana oba okujoyina.
Osalawo. Kanso Kato, your last remark on that.
Yes, Edgar, thank you so much. Ate normally aliseka
analogy.
Kati jayo oshegera naye sigenda kwesa analogy. Let me tell you this, Edgar.
Yes, sir.
There is what we call building ideologies. And when an ideology is being developed, we have people who will have their conscience that is stable. And we will have people who will get the false consciousness. They believe that they are also among the rulers. Because we have the rulers and we have the ruled.
The haves and have-nots.
And the haves and the have-nots. And the problem comes in where you have a false conscience. Somebody will come and preach an ideology to you, and you will feel at some point that if I join this group, I will also be part of the rulers. and you forget where you belong ordinarily. That's what Norman said in his analogy and said, yokamadi weyadange wakanga nyumiza abantu ngabagamba tubadde tuvuga. You get? Exactly. So that's a false conscience that these people create in so many of us. And they have tried to use the challenges that we face as individuals. And if you are not strong enough, then you will fall for them. You will be, their meat at the end of the day. So it takes, first of all, courage. It takes hope. Because if you lose hope, Edgar, the following day we shall see
but
you
also
posing
even
for
me
the
joining those
photos.
guys, it also takes courage.
Joining
them, it also takes courage, because
courage.
do you know joining the devil? It takes courage. No, because you have seen this African saying, when you're eating with the devil, you're sure I'm going to it takes courage. Sitting it takes courage.
You see, the kings, when they used to eat, those back in the days on their tables, we used to have these people babeeranga wansi nga tebakkiriza kutuula ku mmeeza balye naye nga kabaka bw'ayabanga nga alya ennyama ye n'asika nga waliwo buno obuceere obu
olumu bagenderako omuntu asooka tekifiibwa asika n'ono n'agenderako.
And so many people have been in the back benches and they could not even access buno obukunkumuka obuva ku mmeeza we baliira. And if they get an opportunity of taking a photo with the general, they feel they have made it in life. And so many people want small things. Ekifaananyi nyizo sanga talina nekiyafunye naye amabanja gakyagayina, but because he has that photo, he will at least hang it in his house and he will tell his kids, naffe twaliko. You get? Yegumya. He feels the pain. I know he feels the pain. But talina kyagikolera. I know kwegumya.
Okay.
Thank
you, Council. Thank you, Mr. Tumuhimbise. You've had the questions, you've had the discussions. Hey, what is there to smile about in Uganda? Olusi, although ebintu ebiko overwhelming, okola shows zaffe weziti Mr. Tumuhimbise. Nogenda n'omanya eggwanga ly'engeri gye litambulamu. Olusi naye wennyinnyala ng'omuntu. So, ndosa mbiwulidde mwe bannayuganda mmwe ffe tukoze ogwaffe twogera ku nsonga zino. Era kati mwabalina okubakana n'okuziteeka mu nkola oba n'okulowooza ku biki bye tuba tubagambye. Nze Edgar Matthew Karuhanga mbadde ne Council Kato Tumusiime munnamateeka mu kkooti enkulu ne Mr. Norman Tumuhimbise ono activist mulwanirizi wa ddembe ate nga yakulembera ekibiina ekya The Alternative Uganda Social Movement National Coordinator waakyo. Teddy abadde ku camera, then n'omwami Mukose Arnold abadde mu productions. Mwebalire nnyo. Tujja balaba akawungezi k'olwaleero tulina the hotline ku ssaawa emu yennyini ery'akawungezi paka ku ssaawa 3 temugisubwa naye nze olunaku olw'enkyanja kubeera wano ku ssaawa 2 ez'okumakya nga mbakolera the mighty drive. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. Good morning, Uganda.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.